Assalamu alaikum, everyone. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع الأسر يسرا إن مع الأسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Firoz. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the webinar on international education through scholarships. A hearty welcome to all of the attendees, the panelists, and the honorable speaker, Mr. Aslam Sheikh. Before moving on to the webinar, let me give you a brief introduction about AMP, that is Association of Muslim Professionals. So friends, AMP is a non-profit organization having registered offices in India, USA, UK, and Australia, and the AMP chapters across the world. So AMP's vision is to empower the underprivileged and the economically backward section of our society. A brief introduction about the achievement of AMP. We have been working through our various flagship programs in the past 12 years, among which some of the most important projects of ours are school development programs. We call them SDPs, wherein we have conducted 2750, that is 2,750 plus skill development lectures, benefiting 2,75,000 students, and have connected 800 plus schools, benefiting 100 plus teachers in terms of training and parenting workshops. Another most important initiative of us is Employment Assistance Cell, which provides free of cost job service to the candidates in terms of finding the dream company and the dream job. 350 plus job fairs and job drives have been conducted and 20,000 plus candidates employed. Along with it, we have been focusing on career development as well. So we have been doing employability training programs. We have conducted 200 plus employability training programs and have benefited almost 15,000 plus degree students in terms of giving them career guidance and the training programs to enhance their career. Then we have the scholarship and self-employment. Again, 800 plus higher education scholarships, 750 plus orphan education, and 250 plus families were transformed by offering self-employment assistance, wherein we try to get them help in terms of setting up their own business, and plus the scholarships in education so that they can excel in their higher studies. Then we have AMP Resource Center, where 600 plus career counselors are on board with us, and we have counseled more than 2,000 plus candidates. 50 plus documents on career guidance and 1,000 plus career chart distribution. This is in order to give a handy knowledge of what all are the career opportunities and the students that they can avail. Then awards and partnerships, we have 280 plus renowned education connected awards and 30 plus partners for skill development programs and job fairs, 50 plus partners for the NGOs. NGOs Connect is our another program which work on the grassroots level and actually goes to the underprivileged students and give them the sort of education, the sort of assistance which a normal tier 2, tier 3 city student gets. Can we move on to the next slide, Farhad? Some recent initiatives which are welcomed by all the industry, all the people across India with a very warm support is indiazakat.com. We have launched this program last year in the month of Ramzan. This is a unique concept of crowdfunding wherein AMP, with a view to bring the zakat seekers and zakat givers on a unified platform, they have taken this objective to undertake its operation purely with the intent of bringing socio-economic transformation in the lives of people. 100 plus verified causes in a month we have been achieving since the past few months. The indiamantors.com is again an initiative wherein you have a mentor per student, like one student, one mentor, as we do in abroad, wherein one mentor, right from the very beginning of the career of the student, guide this, counsel, and take him along. To achieve this, AMP tries to reach out to every needy students of India through the medium of education, career guidance, and employment. The indiamantors.com envisions a fully educated and empowered student community where no one is left out. The next one. So a small presentation of presence. We have on-ground presence. Currently, AMP has 100 plus active chapters, which are spread across 25 states, 16 countries, and 6,000 plus active members. And if you look at the online presence of us, we have 125,000 plus members and professionals connected, and the number is growing, alhamdulillah. Now let's move on to our webinar. And for this, I hand it over to Mr. Shakib Chaudhary, our International Education Advisor. Thank you very much.
Lovely to see the work that AMP has been doing. And on behalf of AMP, I welcome you all to this interesting and a very engaging topic. Today, my name is Shakib, and I have been working in this field of international education for the last 12 to 13 years. And today we have a very distinguished person who will let you through the whole process of international education, the scholarships and everything. We have on board today Mr. Aslam Sheikh. He is the founder and CEO of a company named Alif. It's an award-winning education company, and that has helped close to around 23,000 plus students till date to choose a kind of right career, college, country. Himself, Mr. Aslam Sheikh is also himself as an award-winning education consultant. His company also has got a lot of awards, but himself he's also an award-winning consultant. He is a student mentor, an international education expert, and also a keynote speaker in multiple conferences related to education. In addition to this, he is also an ambassador of Swiss Education Foundation, which is India's largest platform to promote premium Swiss institutes in India. Well, this talks a lot about Mr. Aslam Sheikh, and I hand over from here Mr. Mashar Sheikh to take you all through this presentation. We would request everyone that when during the presentation, if you have any questions, agar koi bhi sawal hai, so there is this chat box where you can put these questions. At the end, we will have a question and answer session where we will pick up questions and ask Mr. Sheikh for his responses on this question. Over to you, Mr. Aslam Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Jazakallah, for all the good work AMP has done so far. And so happy to hear and see these encouraging figures, which has been put up by the moderator. It's really good to see the way AMP is progressing and making a positive difference across the board for the people. And thank you, Shakib, for a very generous introduction. And thank you, Abdul Razak Bhai, for being in touch and contacting me to come and share something what I've learned over this period of time with all the prospective students. And I would call them friends because this is how we develop the relationship and the trust so that you take the positive steps towards your brighter career. Okay, so moving further, I have got a very specific communication to share with you. And we are talking about international education, focusing on to the scholarship part. And I've got to know that what the communication has been taken place in the past. And if you have been hearing this kind of communication through this particular platform, I'm sure that you're already exposed to certain countries, certain areas like Germany and the scholarship and the PhD programs. Today, I'm going to give you the overall picture because we do not have any specific audience. So let's be very generic in terms of communication. But I guarantee that after this 45 minutes of sessions or so, we will be able to add the value to your time, which you are going to spend with us. And I guarantee you that I'm definitely make sincere efforts to at least share what I've learned so far, what my students have exposed to, and those success stories would help you on your success journey. So let's begin with this. And I don't have a very hardcore presentation slides because I keep more onto the lighter side, and I try to be more engaging with the students and the parents whenever I talk. But that's what something I have got to share with you. So that's today's topic, just to keep your attention here. We are talking about international education and we are talking about the scholarship. So usually what happens whenever you talk about these two words, immediately naturally the question comes. The question comes like, which country is good? You know, which university would be good for me? Then the next question comes in, where do I get the maximum scholarship? What are the bases to get the scholarship? So we are going to touch upon these topics today on a very surface level, so that it will give you a very clear, better understanding of how does the global education market works and operates in a different countries. We will try to cover as far as possible the different countries so that you get a proper global overview before tomorrow you want to take any further action, then it would help you to take accordingly. What I generally do is that what I say that if we have to answer these questions of what to study, where to study, and how to save money. So let's start with a very basic, very first point is what to study. And I believe this is where all the problem arises. It's not about where, it's not about how, it's about what to study. Because this is where most of the students are confused. This is where most of the students are still trying to identify what they should do in their life. They ask many questions like what is going on in the market, what the future looks like related to any particular industry, whether this particular program is going to be, that's underlying, in demand, in order to me to invest my time and money now so that I can reap the benefit in future. And likewise, these questions when you face, I always tell the students, and it may look like a very Shah Rukh Khan type diplomatic dialogue that, listen to your heart, listen to your inner voice. But let me tell you the fact that this is what is the truth. And this is what you got to find out. And how to listen to your inner voice, it's a very difficult question to answer, but I have got a very simple solution in the end of this particular slide to share with you. So talking about this, when I talk about what to study, most of the students, they confuse between the interest and aptitude. What do I mean is that, sir, I'm interested to do this, or I'm interested to follow this particular area. Like, for example, many people are getting attracted towards, say, AI, today's topic, artificial intelligence or robotics, or games development, or data management, data science, cybersecurity. These kind of topics looks very informative, very futuristic, and so as media also give that kind of input कि यही future में रहने वाला है, यही future है. और communication बाज़ दफा ये सब प्लेटफॉर्म पे खासकर मीडिया में इतना सेंट्रिक हो जाता है, इतना सब्जेक्ट सेंट्रिक हो जाता है कि ऐसा लगता है कि वर्ल्ड इसके बाहर एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता, है ना. I mean, we talk about HR. People 3-4 years ago, if you want to talk about HR, HR is like taking up arts. Like, for example, I mean, it's a very least option what the student would want to take in front of the other options available, because they think that they can't add, or HR has got nothing much to do in the organization except recruitment, salary, letters to the employees or to the employees. Friends, HR's power was seen in this last 1 year during pandemic. All the big organization or mid-sized organization were completely dependent on their human resource management department in order to keep their employees engaged from their houses, from their respective places, to still engage them, to make them connected with the organization. Not only that, even the big organization, in fact, they went one step beyond that. They ran online programs in order to not only include the employees, but also their families into this online engagement activities, so that they keep the morale of the society, of the family high, and in return, the employee would still willingly want to work for the organization. So what I mean to say that each and every subject is having its own importance. You don't judge from outside based on what you hear from here and there. You try to identify that what's your aptitude. Now you got to differentiate between interest and aptitude. Interest could be like many times we get confused and we mix it. Like for example, photography. And if you're taking some good photography, it could be your hobby or interest. Can that interest and hobby can it be converted into a profession? That's a question need to ask. Most of the time, जैसे एक फैमिली का एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि एक फैमिली आई हमारे पास and then they said कि my son plays a very good football and so he wants to be a footballer. What should we do? Now, what happens is that we most of the time go into the face value. I'm not saying that that could not be a good sportsmanship in you, but what I need to see is that clearly differentiating between interest, hobby, and aptitude. What does it mean? We went into detail. I said, when you say he plays a very good football, what does it mean to you? Very good का definition क्या है? हर किसी का अपना अपना definition. No, he is representing his school, you know. I said, so since how long? He's been doing for 5 years. Okay. What's the progress he achieved from school? Did he went to the city level or state level representation, playing at that level? He said, no. Okay. He was appeared in the Mumbai Mirror newspaper in a picture with a very famous footballer who came from Manchester United to that school. In that the special training was held and he was one of them, was selected to be trained in Mumbai in this school. Okay, I said, and then they were showing the photograph. Now, when we went into detail and then we asked them, okay, let's test and test it through test. So there are different types of tests thankfully available in this time of the world. There are dermatographic analysis tests, which happens through fingerprints. I'm not going to go in detail. You can just write and Google it out, or you can contact us later on. So it's a dermatographic multiple intelligence analysis. It's a DMI, it's a big name. The short thing is that through your fingerprints, 10 fingers fingerprints, you can identify your aptitude, your inner quality, your inner ability. It's a scientifically proved test practiced nowadays by most of the counselors. Even the schools like Singapore International Schools and many other big schools have adopted. In foreign countries, at the school level, it is kind of next to compulsory test. So you don't go by your whims and fantasies that I want to do this, but you take up this test to analyze your aptitude. Second technology would be the aptitude test, which has been there in the market for ages. And you can take up this aptitude test, which will help you to assess your aptitude. So these are the few of the many technologies which are available in the market. Do try and test your aptitude. What is aptitude? Aptitude is something which is from inside, you're born with. Each one of us got the aptitude right from beginning based on the surrounding we get right from the day one when we are in the womb of our mother. That's what our religion says, that's what most of the other religions says, and that's what now scientists certifies that. So the child starts learning when he's in the womb of the mother, and till first 6 years from there. That's a very golden period of any child to learn the most in his life. A lot of the principles which we have formed in today's life is all coming from this first 6 years. So what I mean to say, how do you go back to those 6 years and take out that what is your body, your DNA has grasped mostly is through this technology or these three simple tests. So please try out this test, and this will help you to clear the cloud and give you the clear direction कि okay, I may be a good footballer. तो वो story ऐसी हुई कि जब हम लोगों ने detail में गए और हम लोगों ने test किया, then we identified that that student is very good in business and commerce side. And then when he started relating his life story, then parents confirm, हाँ ये ऐसे करता है, पैसे अच्छे गिनता है, संभाल के रखता है, investment अच्छा करता है, वगैरह वगैरह. The point is that many times you get carried away with your interests and you try to make it as your professional life. So you need to get very clear distinction. So photography, if it is really good in you, you need not to be average. You've got to be the excellent. Then only you can seriously consider this as a profession. Similarly for sports, and similarly as a matter of fact, any program. ऐसे भी होता है, designing. बहुत से बच्चे आते हैं. He is very good in drawing. So we want to make him a civil engineer, or we want to make him an architect. अब देखो, drawing बनाने की भी दो तरीके. एक है कि I can be a very good in drawing by seeing something and copying it, and I'm excellent in that. And when you ask me, okay, create something without seeing, I'm zero in that. And that's my example. So I'm very good in drawing in sketches, but when I see something and copy. But if you ask me, okay, draw something which you have not seen any person, I can't do that. So it means that copying of drawing does not mean that you are excellent in drawing and you should go into architecture course, right? So that's how you need to differentiate between these two things also. So there are different ways and techniques through which you can identify, and that's the best way to get the clarity. जब आपको ये क्लैरिटी आती है कि अच्छा ये मेरी हॉबी है, ये मेरी इंटरेस्ट है, तो मैं इसको हॉबी ही ट्रीट करूंगा, इसको मैं प्रोफेशन बनाने नहीं जाऊंगा. और ये जो मेरा इनबॉर्न क्वालिटी है, आई वुड ट्राई टू डेवलप दैट क्वालिटी इनटू माय सीरियस प्रोफेशन. दिस इज वेयर यू एक्चुअली फाउंड योर व्हाट. और जब वो मिल जाता है, then life becomes very easy and then we move forward. Okay, अब पता चल गया. अभी जैसे इंजीनियरिंग के एग्जांपल ले लो. बहुत सी बार क्या होता है, आप इंजीनियरिंग के लिए बोलते हो ना, स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं 10th के रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं, 12th के रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं, एंड देन दे से कि ओके इफ यूजुअली व्हाट वी हाउ वी मैप द प्रोग्राम्स, हाईएस्ट परसेंटेज मींस आईआईटी के लिए तैयारी करेंगे, उससे कम आएगा तो इंजीनियरिंग के लिए जाएंगे, उससे थोड़ा परसेंटेज कम आएगा तो साइंस जाएंगे, फिर उससे कम तो कॉमर्स. इंजीनियरिंग में भी जाएंगे तो उसमें भी मैप होता है. इंजीनियरिंग के अंदर पहले मैकेनिकल चूज करेंगे क्योंकि वो सबसे ज्यादा नंबर पे क्लोज होता है ना. उसके बाद कोई कॉलेज में कंप्यूटर आईटी ज्यादा क्लोज होता है, पहले उसके लिए ट्राई करेंगे. सिविल एकदम लास्ट में होगा. So what we are doing is that we are mapping percentage with a profession, not our aptitude with a profession which we want to do it, which ideally you want to do it. अभी देखो ना, आप इंजीनियरिंग बोलोगे, आपको किसी ने बोला ठीक है आप इंजीनियरिंग करो, आपके परसेंटेज अच्छे. अब मेरे को बताओ इंजीनियरिंग में क्या इंजीनियरिंग लोगे आप? बिकॉज mechanical and electrical engineering require different set of skills as a person. It's more of a hand movement, what we call it, your physical movement, you know, the physical intelligence is required. Wherein within engineering, you have a civil engineering or architecture course, which require more of the vision or intellectual learning. Computer engineering require more of analytical ability. So within engineering also, these fields require different ability. How would you decide कि engineering करना है तो engineering में क्या करना है? So don't go just by the percentage and then map it कि अच्छा ये percentage में ये admission मिलेगा, I'll do that. Don't take your most learned uncle advice in your family. Usually होता है हर family, मेरे family में मेरे time पे थे एकदम sincere uncle होते हैं जो successful होते हैं, वो आके आपको अपना guidance देंगे. वो बेचारे अपने field में sincere है, बहुत knowledgeable है, और बाकी field के उन्होंने newspaper में information पढ़ रखी है या Google ने उनको help किया है. He may not be the right person to guide you for your career per se, because he may not know as good as about the other fields. He may not be very relevant to the current information, right? So that's the reason why don't rely on to this easy free sources. और हमारे इंडिया में एक सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, हम लोग है ना डॉक्टर को पैसा देने के लिए रेडी है, लेकिन हमारे करियर के लिए करियर काउंसलर को पैसा देने के लिए रेडी नहीं. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, फ्री में कुछ मिल जाएगा क्या एडवाइस, तो हमको एडवाइस देने वाले भी फ्री में बहुत मिलते हैं. जहां आपने किसी का क्वेश्चन पूछा, उसको 10 एडवाइस आपके सामने खड़ी होती है. एंड व्हाट वी डू इजीएस्ट वे, अच्छा 10 का सुना, मेरा दिल ये बोलता है, या ज्यादातर लोग चूंकि ये बोल रहे हैं, आई विल टेक इट. सो दीज आर दी रेसिपीज ऑफ डिजास्टर. एंड आई हैव मेट enough students for last 12 years who come at the first year, second year of their respective programs and they do not find their heart. And I guarantee you, आप LinkedIn पे जाओ, सबसे आसान काम करो, LinkedIn पे जाओ, और जितने अच्छे प्रोफेशंस हैं जो ये एज 40 to 60 के होंगे ना, उनके जाके सबके ना एजुकेशन बैकग्राउंड देख लेना. And I guarantee you 70 to 80% of professionals have got altogether different bachelor degree and they are all together in different industry now. Successful, but different industry. Somehow over the R&D and over the period of time, by falling and rising, they found out their what. But you don't want to waste that time, right? That's the reason why the very important thing is that first and foremost, forget about scholarship, forget about a good country and PR and stay back and then good salaries. It's all are influencing, highly influencing factors. But believe me, and this is I've seen repeatedly, if your heart is not there, but money is there, prestige is there, but your heart is not there, you will never enjoy and you will be forceful professional in that particular domain. And you will never ever contribute to the society because you have never been connected with your heart there, right? So money is not everything, position is not everything. Work, 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 and get your clarity onto what, and there are so many options. In at least today's world, you can't say that I don't know my purpose. I don't know how to segregate my interest and aptitude. There is no excuse for these sentences. So I hope that at least this base, this is a foundation, friends. That's the reason I'm spending most of the time here. Talking about other countries, it's very easy, you know, it's nothing big. You know, वो आप मैं बता दूंगा, आप भी बहुत सारे यहाँ पे experts हैं, they will tell you. But if you fail to recognize your own aptitude, your own positives, your own strengths, it's all waste. Either waste in terms of money, time, or waste in terms of you're not connecting yourself with that particular profession. And that's the reason why, as I said, go to the profession's background and you'll see 70 to 80% people have got altogether different different degrees as compared to what profession they are in. So that's the first clear step you want to be. Second, and very important. Now let's go. Assuming that you worked hard onto it, you went through this different technologies or aptitudes tests and everything is available. You got yourself a clarity. You paid money to a good counselor to counsel you and guide you. And now you got some kind of directions, right? And now it makes sense to talk about, okay, now tell me where you want to go. Because I'll tell you how that what is connected here. Now you look at these 5 points, and I always say, if you're looking for international education, these are the 5 points you again get to be clear with. देखो कोई भी काउंसलर किसी भी पास आप एडवाइस लेने जाओगे ना, डोंट गो विद ओपन क्वेश्चंस. Always try to give them some feed so that they can build on upon those questions answers a good solution for you, because there is no ready-made solution for anyone. Don't go with a group in a friends कि हम दोनों यहाँ जाना चाहते हैं, या because ये जा रहा है तो मैं भी जाना चाहता हूँ ना? उसकी priorities, उसके aspirations, उसके goals, उसकी अपनी strengths अलग है. That may not match with you. So don't make that mistake. These are the 5 questions which I believe and I push on to my students to give me a clear answer. And until they are not clear, we just don't work like you want to go abroad and you say, okay, I want to go for an MBA, or I'm an engineering student, show me engineering management program, or बहुत सारे mechanical students supply chain management के लिए जाना चाहते हैं ना, आजकल बहुत एकदम trending है. So if you ask me, I will not just hand over the list of universities. अच्छा ये university, ये college पे यहाँ जाओ. We don't do that. We take extra efforts. We say that, okay, first tell us why you want to select to go abroad on these 5 parameters. And remember this 5 question, write it down and find out the answer by your own self. And I'll give you the tips and tricks through which you can easily find out the answer from your own sense. And that will help any counselor you go tomorrow to give you the right option. Number 1, what's your goal to go abroad? Why you want to go abroad? And there could be different goals. I will just give you for easy understanding what could be the goal. उससे आप connect करो कि इसमें से कोई goal आपका है क्या? First thing, the goal for me to go abroad is to study, get an international experience, and come back to India and serve in this country to my business, my father's business, to the job here, etc., etc. That's the first goal. Second goal, go abroad, study, get some years of work experience, and then probably after a few years come back to India, because I see that India is growing as a country, as an economy, etc., blah, blah, blah. I want to come back and serve here. Goal 3, I want to go study abroad. I want to work for a few years. And maybe if I get a chance, I will settle down there. I don't want to come back to India. Maybe blunt to say I don't want to come back, or you say that, okay, if I get a chance, I will settle down. So this could be the bigger goal in terms of you're looking for international education. Based on these 3 priorities, the options of countries would differ. But again, the solution would not be based only on this first question. All combining answer the 5 questions should give you the final solution, which any good counselor will help you to find out. So पहले ये 3 देख लिया हमने, इसको हम connect करेंगे end में, जब 5th question के end में जाएंगे तो मैं बताऊंगा कि कैसे connect होता है. Second is, what is your specialization you're looking? इसका क्वेश्चन आपको आपके पिछले स्लाइड से मिलेगा, व्हाट यू वांट टू स्टडी. क्योंकि आप बोलोगे हमारे में बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स आ जाते हैं एंड दे से वी वांट टू गो फॉर एन एमबीए प्रोग्राम. अभी एमबीए प्रोग्राम भी से व्हाई यू वांट टू गो फॉर एमबीए? आई मीन दैट्स अ नेचुरल प्रोग्रेशन आफ्टर आवर बैचलर कोर्स. फिर थोड़ा सा और खुरे दो उनको, तो देन दे से कि नहीं सर, यू टेल मी, शुड आई गो फॉर मास्टर्स और शुड आई गो फॉर एमबीए? एंड इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स खासकर ज्यादा कंफ्यूज होते हैं, because they always are in these 2 minds. Should I go into my industry related program to do masters, or should I go for an MBA? Because हम लोगों ने काफी stories सुनी है कि this tech guy did MBA and then he got such good salaries. So it's really depend again, what do you want to do? Simple cheese hai. If you are engineering students, I'm just giving the example of engineering. I'll give another example also. But if you're engineering students, and if you really love the field, because many times it happens that 60 to 75% students really want to quit engineering after graduation somehow because they feel okay, we made a mistake of doing engineering at that time. So if that is the case, then you must go and change. Career changing is very important, and it happens. It's very easy. In abroad, it's very common. So you can get into engineering with management side, and then you can look for a career accordingly. Or if you really love the field you've been engineered, like for example, mechanical aapne kiya, and you really love the field, then you can choose to go for a master's in different fields further related to mechanical. Kya kar sakte hain? Automotive, aviation, you can do product designing, you can do supply chain management, which goes very well with the mechanical engineering. Similarly, if you have done computer science, computer engineering, you can top up masters with, you've got hundreds of options: cyber security, data science, artificial intelligence, robotics, management information system. That's a big sector. If you are a BCom student or you are a BMS student, so you can choose to do masters in one particular field, because commerce or management studies में बहुत सारे subjects आते हैं, finance, marketing, HR. You can pick one and do masters, or you can do MBA and then you can be a journalist of the management field at the master's level. So these are the things you need to decide and differentiate. So specialization plays a very important role. Third thing is your academics. What academic background you come with, तुम्हारे percentage ये matter करते हैं. IELTS, TOEFL ये आपने test सुना होगा. You want to go abroad, GMAT कुछ university में लगता है, GRE कहीं लगता है masters के लिए, तो आपने सुना होगा कि test लगते हैं. But this test will not replace your percentage requirement. ठीक है? आप बोलोगे मैं IELTS में इतना score कर लूंगा, GRE में इतना score कर लूंगा, ठीक है, that's an additional point, but your academics cannot be replaced. So whatever percentage you have received at your bachelor's level, or if you are 12 students at 12th level and you want to go after that, then that percentage should be kept in mind before you decide abroad for higher education. Next is your interest. Now, interest में कैसे होता है? It could be anything. Interest होगा, hobby होगी. जैसे कि कुछ students हैं जो कभी बाहर यूरोप वगैरह जाके आए हैं, and somehow they fell in love with one particular country. That could be possible. Or you've been watching a movie or watching a TV series, and then you really fell in love with New York or in Paris, and then you made up your mind कि नहीं यार मुझे यहीं पे जाना है. होता है कभी-कभी. Then you may have an interest के, और your requirement होगी कि कुछ students का जैसे होता है कि they are very sensitive to the cold weather. So in that case, you do not want to go into the extreme weather conditions, countries or cities of that country. So Canada जाना है, तो maybe you want to choose Vancouver, British Columbia state as compared to Toronto state, because of the weather, extreme weather differences between these two particular states of the same country. और फ्रांस जाना है, तो फ्रांस में आप पेरिस नहीं जाओगे अगर कोल्ड से एलर्जी है, साइनस के इश्यूज हैं आपको, ये सब चीजें मैटर करती है. सो यू नीड टू नो, और काउंसलर वुड हेल्प यू, एनी गुड काउंसलर विल हेल्प यू इन दिस रिगार्ड्स. सो मे बी फ्रांस में आप पेरिस वगैरह नहीं जाओगे, आप सदर्न फ्रांस में जाओगे, जहाँ पे एक एवरेज टेम्परेचर जो होता है वो 11-12 डिग्री होता है. इट्स नियर टू सी. सो जैसे मॉन्पेयर करके बहुत अच्छी सिटी है, स्टूडेंट सिटी है. सो यू मे वांट टू चूज दैट पार्ट ऑफ फ्रांस एज कंपेयर टू द सेंट्रल पार्ट ऑफ फ्रांस. Maybe you want to go to Australia, Melbourne City चले जाओगे जहाँ पे sunshine है. और जैसे एक student था हमारा, we did some tests and we found out that he mostly remains into depression because of some, again, issues of the past. So what happens when the students come from that particular background of depression or getting unconscious, or an anxiety is high, then we don't refer them for psychological reasons, because we got very good psychological friends, who help us to identify the student needs. So it's good not to go to the countries which are very cloudy, because psychologically it impacts you. If it's very cloudy and so it's always dark, which usually happens in European country or UK, then as a student, if you come from that particular challenge in your personality, it's very difficult for you to concentrate onto the studies. Some students, they really are very physically active. So unke liye we always advise that choose the university whereby you have got very active sports center, because that will keep you going for your studies also. If you are not active physically based on your body type, it becomes very difficult for you to concentrate on studies. So there are so many interests and factors which you can account before you choose a right city or a right country in the abroad. And the last and very foremost thing is a budget, right? So of course हमको जो कुछ भी करना है एंड में तो पैसे इन्वेस्ट करके करना है, right? Whatever would be the scholarship, वो 100% भी स्कॉलरशिप होती है तो भी आपको कुछ तो फंड दिखाने होते हैं वीजा के लिए, कुछ तैयारी करनी होती है, कुछ खर्चा अपने पे करना होता है. So nothing is absolutely free, but yes, so depending upon the budget you will decide. Just to give you the example, the budget from tuition fee point of view could be as low as 0 if you get full scholarship, right, to as high as 45 lakhs a year per annum, right? So that's a bracket of international education. तो आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आपका बजट क्या है. अभी आप बोलोगे नहीं आप बताओ, ऐसा नहीं होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल आप कार लेने जाते हो ना, तो आपको मालूम है कि आपके पॉकेट में कितना है, आप कितना उसमें ऐड करके कार लोगे, तो अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल चूज टू गो टू द कार सर्विस सेंटर और कार डीलर्स, है ना. सो सपोज हमारा बजट अगर 10 लाख पर एनम का है, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल नॉट गो टू द यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफरिंग 45 lakhs of fees. Or similarly, if you have got a budget for, say, Mercedes C class, you would not go and ask for the Rolls Royce. You know? So it's a huge difference. So you need to know what's your budget, whatever it may be. And I'm sure each one of you will find some or other option, because thanks to so many countries offering study abroad options to in this date, you have got a lot of options. I mean, as small as a country like, what should I say Turkey, you know, that they have very actively, they're promoting their education abroad, and there are lots of public universities, government universities who are offering for courses for 2.5-3 lakhs. Malaysia, you know, I did one, I do every Friday a webinar, so you can watch. So I did one webinar on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. So that university, UTM space, I'm just giving you the example, it ranks among top 300 in the world, top 300. And their fees is just 4.5 lakh rupees. So it starts from there, and it can go up to as high as the budget would allow. So identify your budget. Germany as a country, more easy is for the postgrad students. Of course, there are options of going for undergrads with the German language proficiency, vagera, but it attracts less number of students because of the language proficiency. You can try that if you have got the proficiency to learn language. If not, go for a master's program. If you have got 78 or in some cases 85% and above, you will be able to get 100% scholarship for master's program, especially for engineering and IT related courses. Not for management maybe, but mostly for engineering IT. And we have got a lot of success stories of students who have got 100% scholarship. You can watch them on to YouTube. You can learn from them what they're saying and how they're sharing their experiences, so that you can follow their footsteps in order to get those scholarship. So now you got these 5 points. Now, if I combine your answer, whatever you would give or whatever you would write for each of these 5 questions, once you combine and present it, that will give any good counselor a very good opportunity to suggest you a very appropriate university, appropriate country, appropriate city option, right? My personal advice is always go to the consultants, the counselors who are open and representing different countries and different universities. You know, because what happens, some consultants, some counselors focus only on to single college or country, then maybe you are losing on to other opportunity in other countries. Could be possible. So try always to go for the counselors who have got as many possible options as possible, so that they can choose for you the right option. Moving further, and the last part is just saving money, and that's the scholarship. Now, there are various ways to get the scholarship, and I'll just quickly tell you a few of the things. For example, Germany, I already mentioned. Those who are bachelors, especially engineering and IT background, fantastic opportunity. If you score in certain cases 75% above, in certain cases 85% and above, you have got good chances to get 100% tuition fee waiver, or at least get a fee waiver, and then you have to pay 100 euro, you know, 500 euro, 35,000 rupees per semester, which is nothing. You know? So these kind of scholarships are very much available in Germany. There are other universities, almost all the universities and colleges, like we work with 200 plus universities and colleges across 14 countries. So you come to the universities, they always have got some or other kind of scholarship available. It could be as $1,000 to as high as 10, 20, 30 or up to 50% waiver. So you always get scholarship. और एक चीज याद रखो, scholarship जो word आता है ना दिमाग में, तो हमारे पास automatically हमारा hard wired mindset ये बोलता है, oh my God, will I get that scholarship? is not going to be that easy. I know that there will be a lot of formalities, but let me tell you, इंडिया में हो सकता है स्कॉलरशिप तो छोड़ो, आपको डोनेशन मांगेंगे, लेकिन अब्रॉड में डोनेशन छोड़ो, वहां पे स्कॉलरशिप ऐसी मिल जाती. It's only thing is that you are not accessible to those information. Otherwise, getting $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 scholarship for any particular course is not that great. And especially the universities in this COVID time, since they are running university at a very low admission rate, they are, I mean, very active. They are very generous, especially to offer you the different also scholarship. जरूरी नहीं स्कॉलरशिप आपको एकेडमिक बेस पे मिलता है. अभी अगेन ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि स्कॉलरशिप होगा तो मेरा परसेंटेज हाई होना चाहिए, मेरे पास ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स होने चाहिए, या एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में इतना मार्क्स. जरूरी नहीं है. दैट कुड बी वन ऑफ द क्राइटेरिया, बट नॉट नेसेसरली. सम काउंसलर मेक इट आउट ऑफ ब्लू और उसको इतना भुला देते हैं स्कॉलरशिप की रिक्वायरमेंट को कि नहीं आपको सोशल कम्युनिटी सर्विसेज करना है. ठीक है, कुछ यूनिवर्सिटी की रिक्वायरमेंट है, बट दैट्स नॉट अक्रॉस द बोर्ड. तो ऐसा कुछ खास रूल नहीं है. हमारे यहाँ इंडिया जैसे कंपटीशन नहीं है. यू कैन इजीली गेट स्कॉलरशिप. यू नीड टू नो वेयर टू अप्लाई एंड व्हेन टू अप्लाई. द टाइमिंग इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. कुछ यूनिवर्सिटी जैसे स्विट्जरलैंड में है, विच आई नो दैट दे फॉर पर्टिकुलर इनटेक, यानी सितंबर का इंटेक है, लेकिन अगर आप जुलाई ज्वाइन करोगे, दे ऑफर यू अप टू 30% स्कॉलरशिप. I mean, without any reason. I mean, they don't want to see your academics. It's just that they have got less application going in July and they want to get more seats. So that's why they're saying, okay, come to us in July and we'll give you 30% scholarship. So there are so many easy available scholarship for which you don't have to do anything. And please be free to connect with the good counselors, and I'm sure that they will help you to get the scholarship. और कुछ कंट्री ऐसी होती है जहाँ पे स्कॉलरशिप की जरूरत भी नहीं होती. I mean, their fees are so reasonable. Like Russia is famous for medicine courses. You must have heard a lot. So Russian universities, and there are good MBBS universities who are offering fees for 4.5, 5, 6 lakhs rupees a year, which is nothing as compared to what we are paying here in India. I gave you the example of Malaysia. They have got one of the best universities in the world, but their fees is not even 30% of what they're getting. More 50% discount or more than that as compared to European universities, but they're better ranked universities. So there are many ways whereby you don't even need to depend on scholarship because the fees itself is very less. So these are the ways in which you can apply for scholarship. The another one is US में बहुत famous है, जहाँ पे assistantship बोलते हैं जिसको. So the scholarship के अलग-अलग नाम होते हैं, अलग-अलग structure होते हैं. So ideally you are good in studies in your particular subject and you want to assist the professor to the department where you're going to study. So he may hire you as an assistant because you're really good for the students, and you ideally are a student who is going for masters. So वो आपको use करते हैं, आपके services use करते हैं for उनके bachelor students के लिए. So उनके जो छोटे-मोटे queries होते हैं, they expect you to answer rather than faculty coming into picture. Right? So in that way also you get assistantship. In fact, you get paid by the faculty, or your term fees would be waived off against the hours of assistant you provide to the faculty or to the department. So that could be assistantship. So there are many ways in which you can reduce down the fees and scholarship. This is just to give you the idea. Last point, I'll just finish in 2-3 minutes. The other things, the other factors. The could be is that look at, ये तो सब टेक्निकल चीजें हुई जो मैंने आपको बताई. इसको नोट डाउन करो, उसके ऊपर काम करो, and I'm sure that you will get a good result out of that. Be open with the country option. Don't follow the rat race. Don't think US is the only place or Canada is the only place or XYZ. You know, all countries are good, but not necessarily all countries are good for you. You know, you need to identify based on these 5 parameters what is suitable to you. So whatever question I ask the question for yourself and you'll get the answer. Second thing, look at the government development, political development, the immigration policy development, not only what has been taken place now, what is likely to happen. And this is where again you need the experts' advice. So any good counselor may help you to identify, to kind of predicting what could be the future course of action of that government, because that also helps you or really can disturb you, their policies, if you do not read the policies well in advance before choosing the country. Similarly, look at the option of a travel point of view, because many times you do not want to be very away from your family, or your family do not want to be very away from you. परसों के parents से बात कर रहा था, जैसे कि Mr. Sheikh, we want to send a case, but we want to be within 2 hours if we required. You know, we are very close to her, and then we never left her alone. So it could be possibility that you may choose countries like Malaysia, countries like Dubai. Dubai has got also a knowledge city. So there are some foreign universities who have got offshore campuses. So maybe that in that case you want to go for that. Another thing could be that cultural affiliation. So many people, if I see that largely Muslim students are here, but otherwise also. So if you come from a particular community and culture and you want to be surrounded by that community and culture so that you feel comfortable, in the foreign land, again, the choice of country would differ. So Turkey, Malaysia, Dubai, maybe for Muslim student could be a first choice. ऐसे Gujarati students, Marwadi students काफी मेरे पास आते हैं. And then again, they have got a choice for UK because they've got a lot of community and active community members who are there. So that could also play a role, while selecting the option. Then also look into the language proficiency requirement. कि आप जर्मनी जा रहे हो, फ्रांस जा रहे हो, so जितनी भी non-English speaking country है वहाँ पे not necessarily English is very easily spoken, widely spoken. उनकी इंग्लिश इतनी अच्छी नहीं होती, इनफैक्ट हमारी इतनी भी नहीं होती बहुत सी बार. इनफैक्ट उनके tier 2 cities में जाओगे वो कंट्री के, जर्मनी, फ्रांस, इटली के, so many people may not even speak in English. Only major cities speaks in English. So in that case, again, you need to account that factor. So ways to look at it. One is, oh my God, I have to learn a different language now. So who will go and break his head? Okay, कौन सीखेगा ये? और उसका एक दूसरा तरीका भी है देखने का कि wow, so I will get an opportunity to learn a new language, and that will add a value to my profile, because language learning is a big thing, believe me. And being a global village and the world, the way it is moving, and the companies are coming and doing business with each other, extra language would always put you in front of your competitors as a job seeker professional. So these are the additional ways in which you can look at the choice of the country. So with this, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. And if you have got any question, I'm available here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sheikh, for such an enlightening session. And I have attended a lot of sessions. What I really liked about was the simplicity of the flow that we did. And very two key points which Mr. Sheikh has put in, and this is a very good learning for everyone, is that you need to differentiate between interest and aptitude. It is really important. And also, what fits in for you will not fit in for me. So every person is individual. So I think we will open up this for question and answers. There are certain question and answers that have come. But from on behalf of the students who are there, Mr. Sheikh, I have one question. Like generally, this comes to a student mind that okay, fine, scholarships are there, but what would you advise when they're making the step, okay, for scholarships? Where should they go and find? What are the resources they can look at? Because you had mentioned that there are so many scholarships which are available. It is just people not aware. So if you can just throw some light on this.
Yeah. So there are two ways. One, for the students who are always self-dependent, उनको आदत होती है कि खुद से सर्च करे, खुद एप्लीकेशन करे, खुद वीजा करे, खुद करे सब. If you are that kind of students, which always are in minority, but still, if you are that kind of students, then I will suggest you go to the scholarship. एक site है, Buddy for Study. So that's a site which you can just Google it out. Buddy for number 4 study. So that's a site which hosts a lot of scholarship information of India and abroad put together. So that could be one of the ways to look at. And the best way, still, I would suggest is that go to the counselors here. I mean, देखो एक चीज है ना, हमको अपने लाइफ में सीखनी है. हम लोग ने ना, ये शायद से हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम की वजह से, या जिसको भी आप ब्लेम कर लो, हम लोगों ने ये डेवलप किया है कि वी हैव लॉस्ट hiring or appointing or reaching out to the mentors in a different space of our life. And I'm sure that AMP must have realized this very important point. That's the reason why and the mentor.com, IndiaMentor.com has come into place. Today, I'm still being mentored by many people. I've got a mentor who mentors me in the financial things, because I cannot be expert in everything, right? So I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have resources. So I have got one lady who mentors me in the financial areas. I've got one gentleman who mentors me in the business development areas. I've got another gentleman who mentors me in the scaling areas, business scaling areas. So what I mean to say that always try to get the mentor, and he may be in a better position to understand you and customize the option.
Thank you. One more thing before we go on to students' question. Like the consulting firm that you have, are there some charges for a person who comes over there for consulting? How does it goes about the whole process? Because mentorship is important.
Good question. Absolutely, it's a very good question. Okay, we offer free services. Now, let me explain what is free. We offer free counseling. Okay? I don't do free counseling because I have got my time, which needs to be worth, and that's the reason why I've got to charge for it. But you contact us, and my counselor, who are equally trained, they've traveled abroad, they will offer you absolutely on Zoom, on phone, in person, if they're available in the office on that day, will offer absolutely free counseling. We have got an app available. You can go into app, put your details, and then app will automatically suggest you certain universities. We have got a start here page on our website where again you put your details, and according to your answering, the AI will give you some options. So these kind of options are available. We do offer free consultation right from your application making to your visa process and finding the accommodation, absolutely free for those universities who we are connected with. So we are connected with 200 plus universities. If you choose any of these universities across 14 countries, you don't have to pay any charges. But if you want to go to your choice of university, then yes, we may have our charge to help you out.
Thank you. So now coming to students' question, one very good question that has come up, and that was around our aptitude. So what would you recommend if a person would like to search more or know more about their aptitude?
What you can do is that you can go on to this my link alif.in/sat. If it's okay, I'll just type. That will give you a very good idea about what is aptitude. What does it mean? How does it help you? There are lots of tests available. We recommend one test which we have tried and tested, and we have got a lot of success stories. Again, you can go to YouTube channel. You can watch our students and parents. A big company like Atols, which is a few billion-dollar company. Their directors, I mean, it's an IT tech company, and that company director's son has taken the test, and then they were very happy. So I'm just giving the example. So there could be many tests, but this is a test which will help you, and there are 200 questions. So don't go for the free test. Again, you go to many websites, there are free aptitude tests. Go for free test. It's a way to scam and get your database, right? They will ask you just 15, 20 questions and immediately you'll get some answer. It really doesn't help you anyway. I cannot judge you unless I ask you hundreds of questions in different ways so that you cannot trick the question, right? So be sincere. Whenever it is to be sincere, to pay money, get the services done, and then that will help you really to get yourself know better.
Okay, so one more question that came, that was from Farooq Siddiqui. So for a master's program abroad, how many years break between bachelor and a master's course is permissible or allowed?
Right. Okay. So it requires a little explanation. There are two ways to look at it at the master's program. If you are looking for a master's, there are, again, when you talk about international education, before I give any answer, there are always ifs and buts. And there is no direct answer because it doesn't apply to all the countries, because all countries, different universities works and operates differently. So there are universities who offer state admission after bachelor's into master's, and you do not have to have any work experience. So this is one way to look at the master. Then second is there are universities who ask for experience, and that happens in most of the cases for MBA program, whereby that MBA is designed to be for a senior graduate, senior professionals who wants to go further in their life at the regional head or director position. You know, the MBA की भी अलग type होती है. So I mean, I take one full session just to talk about masters and MBA. What is the difference? So just to quickly answer this, you have got a choices available to straight away join the masters soon after your bachelor is over, or you want to take your experience in between. It's your personal choice for direct entry into masters. I'm not talking about MBA. Masters, most of the university offers admission without experience.
Thank you.